Nice to see you. Hello. Welcome back to Tuesdays at 2, the 5 Minute Museum. My name is Elizabeth Peterson. I'm the director of the museum at Oglethorpe. I am coming to you today from my home office. I'm going to show you some pieces that are in my own collection. And one of the things that John Daniel Tilford and I, the curator of collections, do is we also collect our own pieces. I tend to collect woodcuts. You can see one behind me here by the artist Maurice Evans, which I have lent in the past to the museum. You can also see a painting that I just got. I'll show you here by Fred Esom, who is one of the artists in the Art from the Inside, and was so lucky to meet him and be able to purchase this piece. And he has came to speak at one of our events, which was lovely. But today I'm talking to you about something completely different because it's almost Christmas. I thought I'd get a little Christmassy, and it's this piece, which is a Christmas card, and I will take it out of its frame. I have taken it out of its frame for the first time. One of the things I'll tell you is that there are many different ways to bring things into a collection. John and I both collect, but it's very, very different objects. I tend to collect things that have to do with community, with some underserved, but also some artists of color. He has done that as well. I've got some student art that I've collected over the years. But this was a gift. This was from my artist sister-in-law, the late, great Susan Titus, who gave me this beautiful card. Get it out of its frame. And it is, I thought, until I unframed it, which I only just did for this occasion, I thought it was a simple card, but it's actually a booklet, which is really exciting. So this is a drawing by a British artist named Hilda Ososki. She was born in 1888, died in 1935, a graphic designer and an illustrator who was British. And let's see, I'll hold it in front of me like this. But I did a little research on her, found her granddaughter, who not too long ago posted something to BBC radio website about her grandmother, and said that she was born in Forest Gate in Essex in England, and was a very elegant lady. You can see a beautiful photograph of the artist. Again, her name's Hilda Ososki. She married a fellow named Henry Herschel Louis. They had one child, Frances Dawn Louis, who lived from 1921 to 1997. And she passed away in the artist herself passed away in 1935 in Westcliff-on-Sea, Essex, in England. So what this is actually a engraving, and my wife and I like to collect prints primarily. Years ago, after I worked at the Museum of Modern Art, I worked for private print collectors, and they had about 5,000 mostly American prints representing 2,000 artists, and I just became enamored of all things print, particularly engravings and woodcut. This is a beautiful engraving that's then hand painted. It's also embossed, so you can kind of see, if I hold it up here, that it's got a little bit of a shine to it. They're beautiful gold and silver embossing, and it says, "I heard the bells on Christmas Day, their old familiar carols play, and wild and sweet the words repeat, of peace on earth, goodwill to men." And there is an inscription. It's not a handwritten inscription, but there's some information in the inside. It says, "Olden memories are golden memories, with all kind thoughts to wish you a happy Christmas and a bright new year, for Mr. and Mrs. Percy Goulding, Batten Hall Gardens, Eastbourne." And it's actually a little chapbook filled with hymns and other Christmas songs, which I never knew because I've never opened it until the occasion to show it to you, which I love. The first Christmas card design that we know of also came from England. It was from a fellow named John Calcott Horsley, who lived from 1817 to 1903. And he was an illustrator designer who was part of Cranbrook, Kent artist colony, who were mostly genre painters who had been inspired by the Dutch masters. And his designs caught the eye of another fellow who in 1843 has was probably the first person to really post Christmas cards, and that is Sir Henry Cole, who worked as a civil servant in what would become the post office. So he started sending John Calcott Horsley illustrations as cards and wishing everyone good, happy Christmas. If you dig a little bit more deeply, you can see that into the history of Christmas cards, which I find interesting, that King James the First of England in, let's see, 1611 sent one of the first ornamental manuscripts with images that relate to Christmas, the Christmas narrative. And it was the very first person to wish anyone Merry Christmas that we have recorded would have been in 1534 from an English bishop named John Fisher. So there's a little bit for you about this particular image. The next time I talk to you, well, next week will be John speaking to you about an incredible piece that he has in his collection by the artist Dora Maar, who you might or might not know in connection to Picasso. She was an incredible artist, very undervalued in the past and really now being given her due. He's got a beautiful piece in his collection. And the following week, I'll be also broadcasting from my home, talking to you about African barbershop signs, which I have here. I hope that you have beautiful holidays and nice time off if you have it. And we will see you next Tuesday at 2 with John Tilford and Dora Maar. Thank you so much.